Hi, I'm Terry Gillespie, and I'm from Rooftop of Virginia. Today I'm going to be talking to Sandy Jones, and she's going to be telling us a little bit more about the weatherization program. Hi, Sandy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, a few questions that I have for you today.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about the weatherization program and what it does for our area residents.
Okay, so the weatherization program is an energy efficiency program first and foremost. We serve low to moderate income families, and Rooftop serves them in Grayson County, Carroll County, and the city of Gay Lakes. So we have an auditor who goes out and does a complete energy audit of the home, which tells us individually for each home what's required for us to do for that home. Typically, it's going to be things like adding insulation, insulating the water heater, energy efficient light bulbs, maybe some low flow shower heads, air sealing, that kind of thing. They're always going to check out the heat system, make sure that it's safe, that it's operating properly, that the ductwork is sealed up, and that kind of thing. Another big proponent of what we do is health and safety. So we're going to install smoke alarms, CO detectors, fire extinguisher. Again, when they check the heat system, they're going to check that there's not too much carbon monoxide being coming out of the furnace and that kind of thing. So it deals with making improvements on the home as far as making it more affordable for the client to save a little bit of money on their heating bills. And in return, that's good for the community because it's going to bring up the price of the housing stock in the area. Mm-hmm. And it allows our clients to have a healthy, safe home that's more affordable.
Well, that's great. It's wonderful that you guys do that. And I know the program's been around since 1974, and Rooftop has been operating the program since 1974, correct?
Yes, ever since it started, Rooftop has been the provider for weatherization in our area.
I think that's great. We really appreciate what your crew members do. So what type of trainings or certifications are they required to have in order to work on the crew? Because I recently got to go out and visit one of the work sites and see all the work that they do and all the extra safety precautions that they have to take.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they required to have in order to be a crew member?
Okay, they actually have very extensive training requirements. So each title, so auditor, QCI, crew leader, crew member, they each have their own set of individualized trainings that they have to take, pass, and maintain. Mm-hmm. Especially our auditor and QCI, he has certifications that he has to pass and keep renewed. The testing's pretty intense for them, but we all have OSHA requirements, lead requirements, and then, like I said, the individual for their particular job. And those are updated regularly. We also carry a Contractor A license, Rooftop does, that we're required to carry for the program.
So there's a lot more to it than knowing how to nail a nail or to put some caulking up on the window. There's a lot more involved than that.
It is. It's very technical. It's very involved, and the training is provided by the program. There is a wonderful training facility in Christiansburg, CHP Energy Solutions, where we get most of our training. They do classroom training, they do hands-on training, and now because of COVID, we're doing a lot of online training.
Right.
So it is a wonderful resource that's in our community that the whole state utilizes.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you mentioned COVID. So this year, everyone's been having to deal with COVID and the effects. So what has your program had to do in order to make sure that everybody is safe?
Okay, so back when COVID first hit hard, around March, April, we did end up having to shut down the program for a little while because we couldn't go into people's homes. Yeah. But now we're back up and running with some extra precautions in place. So before the crew goes to a home, the crew leader is talking to that client and going over a checklist to make sure that no one in the home has any symptoms, a fever, that they haven't been around someone who has tested positive for COVID within so many days. And also the crew has a checklist they go over every day to make sure they have the proper PPE on the truck, that's personal protective equipment. They make sure they have masks to wear, they have Tyvek suits available, gloves to wear, and every day they check off on that, make sure it's stocked on the truck and available for them there. They do a lot more cleaning and sanitizing before they put tools back on the truck that's came out of the house. They are sanitizing those tools so that then they're ready to go to the next job. So they're just taking a lot of extra precautions. When they're at a home, the clients agree to either stay away from them, like in a different room or different part of the house, or to wear a mask. Of course, our guys are wearing masks. If they don't have masks, we can provide those to the family while we're there. So we're just going that extra mile to try to keep everybody safe, both our crew and the families that we're serving.
So COVID has really made everybody think about how they're operating, and I'm sure that your crew never thought that they would have to sanitize their cameras before they put them back on the truck. So that's probably been interesting for them, but it's good that they're taking those steps and making sure everybody's safe. So my next question is, what about the program is most important to you? Because I understand that you've been working in this program for quite a while.
Yes.
And what do you think is most important about the program and the work that you do?
Okay, so I've been at Rooftop for 18 years, more than that now, and most of that time has been in weatherization. And the most important thing to me is that we're making a difference in people's lives. At the end of the day, you can see what you did, and you can see how you helped that family. Not only in making their bills lower, but making their homes safer for them and healthier for them. It helps with allergies and things like that with the clients. It also helps with the safety because of the carbon monoxide that we're putting detectors in. And I truly believe sometimes we're saving lives with that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing to me is at the end of the day, you know you've made a difference and you've helped them. That $20 or $30 they're going to save each month on their electric bill is $20 or $30 that can go to other things that they need, food or medicine,
right,
or doctor bills or that kind of thing.
Right. Well, it's funny because basically the same thing that you just said is what your crew members said when I talked to them and asked them what they liked about their job. And it's something that a lot of staff members here at Rooftop talk about, is how we are so focused on helping people in our community, and that's our main job, and that's what we want to do. And it's funny that you basically said the same thing that they did. It's just that impact that you can have just in your everyday work, but it's a big impact on that family, which then in turn affects the community. So I think that's great.
And it is, and it's also something I've noticed throughout the whole program in the state. I remember one of the first conferences I went to with Weatherization. In one of our meetings, they went around the room and asked everybody how they felt about the program, what they liked about their job, and there were so many of them that gave pretty much that same answer, that of how proud they were to be serving the clients and making their lives better. And I remember getting a little teary-eyed, and I still can feel like that today after all these years.
I think that's great. That's great. Congrats to you guys. So how does someone apply for weatherization assistance?
Okay, so there are some documentation that we have to have for the application. They would need to come to Rooftop, to the front desk, just say that you're here to apply for weatherization. You don't need an appointment. Bring social security cards for everyone in the home, proof of income for everyone in the home, proof of ownership, so bring your deed or your title, bring a recent electric bill, and if you use any other fuel or heating sources such as oil or propane, bring something showing like how many gallons you used in the past year. If you don't have that available, some clients fill up containers themselves and fill it, then we have forms that can estimate that on.
Okay.
So we also need to find out the year the house was built. Lately I've been able most of the time to get that online. If not, they can get that for me from the tax assessor's office.
What if they are renting a property?
If they're renting, then the landlord will provide the copy of the deed or the title, and the landlord has to come in and sign the owner agreement that they're agreeing to let us do the work on the home, that they agree to everything. But it's no problem. It's based on the client's income who lives in the home. It's not based on the landlord's. They just have to sign permission.
And then they get placed on a waiting list.
Then there is a waiting list. It typically takes anywhere from a few months to several months to get through the waiting list. We tell everybody that up front. The waiting list is not necessarily first come, first served. It's prioritized. It does give priority to people who are disabled or elderly or have small children in the home. They move through the list a little bit faster. The system does that automatically.
Okay, great.
They also get credit for how long they've been on the waiting list, so that someone's not always stuck on the bottom.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for all that you do for our agency and for those in the community. And if you guys are interested, make sure that you contact us here at Rooftop and give Sandy a call or come by and see us, and we'll try to take care of you in any way that we can. Thanks.
Thank you.